Have you ever noticed how some people control the environment without saying a word? They don't shout, they don't beg, they simply withdraw, and everything changes. Energy shifts. People start to question, chase, feel. Imagine if you did the same. If you stopped reacting, choosing silence or retreat, what would happen? The point is, when you stop being constantly available, emotionally, physically, psychologically, your world goes into crisis. Others control through your reactions, your predictability. But when you choose to withdraw, the game changes. Those who thought they knew you realize they know nothing. Carl Jung said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to a better understanding of ourselves." Think, when you become inaccessible, who despairs? Who gets irritated? Who provokes you for a reaction? This reveals more about them than you and how manipulated you are. You keep giving yourself to please, to keep peace, to not lose people who were never truly with you. Every forced yes, immediate response, emotional reaction drains your energy. What's left? Tiredness, frustration, emptiness, because you're too available for those who don't deserve your silence. If this resonates with you, take a moment now to like this video and subscribe to the channel. This journey into Jung's wisdom and emotional sovereignty is just beginning. This isn't an invitation to turn your back on the world, but to choose yourself, to learn Jung's individuation, becoming complete and authentic. And this begins by understanding that silence can be stronger than 1,000 arguments, that conscious withdrawal is an act of power. How long will you be controlled by others' emotions, reacting like a puppet? Perhaps it's time to cut the strings, withdraw, become a mystery. When you stop being available, everything changes. You were taught to be present, respond promptly, please say yes, even when you wanted no. Since childhood, conditioned to believe your worth is in availability. But this excessive availability isn't virtue, it's a prison. As long as you think you must be accessible, you'll be manipulated, drained, forgotten when useless. Because being always available makes you predictable, and predictable things become tools. They use you as an emotional emergency button, but you don't realize it. Trapped in the illusion that being present for everyone means someone will be present for you. It doesn't work. Jung spoke of the persona, the mask for acceptance. This mask makes you overly available. You say it's fine even while suffocating. Reply to messages exhausted. Explain, justify as if you owe something. The more you put yourself on others' stage, the more you vanish from your own. Constant availability is self-abandonment, a search for approval, an attempt to control others' image. The price? Your peace, your vital energy distributed as infinite when it's limited. People who always want you available don't want you but what you provide. Validation, company, distraction, comfort. When you change, set a boundary, refuse to react, they get irritated, accuse you, say you're weird. Not that you changed, but you stopped being functional for them. The cruelest point, the more available you are, the less value they attribute. Abundant things become emotionally insignificant. No one respects what they don't earn. No one values what's always there. Who deserves your time, attention, presence? Or better, who deserves your absence? First, we must understand why we react so easily. Give in. The answer is in Jung's psychic energy. Your energy is all you have. If you don't protect it, someone will use it against you. Jung saw the mind as an energy system. Every thought, emotion, action consumes energy. Do you choose where your energy goes or let the world decide? Impulsive reactions, useless arguments, pleasing those who don't value you, waste inner strength. Jung was clear. What you resist persists. The more you react, the more you bind. Emotionally drained people aren't weak, they're misguided. Exhausted, you become vulnerable, easy prey for manipulators sensing your inability to guard energy, your reactions, your desire to fix the world. A healthy psyche, Jung said, keeps energy within, saying no, guilt-free, remaining silent without cowardice, observing before acting. True power isn't reacting, but choosing when and how, by knowing yourself enough to recognize impulses. How often have you lost sleep over unresolved talks, ruminating for hours? This is energy drained with no return. You keep ghosts alive and feed dynamics only existing because you respond. Psychic energy is a force field. Well guarded, it creates presence. Poorly managed, it makes you invisible, reactive, fragile, and the world has no mercy for those who easily yield. Observe your triggers. What makes you react automatically? Lose your center. There your energy escapes. There you must work. Not to be cold, but selective, sovereign over yourself. Jung's great revelation. Conserving energy breaks others' projections. This annoys them as we enter silent manipulation. Opportunists feed on your energy, and your unavailability disarms these games. Prepare to face those who drained you unknowingly. You think you're in control, your reactions conscious choices, but most emotional responses are programmed. Those who understand this manipulate you. Opportunists don't shout, they activate your exposed buttons and you react. Jung called this projection. They project what they don't see in themselves. You become a receptacle for these images. The more emotionally available, the more you're a blank canvas for projections. Have you noticed this in your own relationships? Drop a comment below. Your insight could spark reflection for someone else too. The friend who calls only in crisis. The partner needing rescue. The one who praises you only when useful. Not accidental. They relate not to you but to the idea of you, the role you accept. And you accept out of fear of disappointing, not being loved, being abandoned. Most effective manipulation is in guilt silence, feeling you owe something, must be available, help, even if it destroys you. The manipulator doesn't need to control you, just needs you to react the same way. But when you stop reacting, the game breaks. When you say no, respond with silence. Withdraw instead of explaining, projections crumble. The mask falls, disorienting them. They don't know who you are, forced to look at themselves. Not all are ready. Your unavailability is a threat because it forces them to confront their emptiness. Your silence reveals the inner noise they don't want to hear. Then comes attack, criticism, drama. Not because you're wrong, but you stopped being a convenient mirror. Jung said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. When you withdraw, the other's shadow emerges, unbearable for those who used you as an escape. Are you ready to face the discomfort of being misunderstood, rejected, or attacked for self-protection? Ready to endure the silence after rupture? In that silence, new power is born. Silence can be the psyche's most devastating weapon, completely changing world dynamics. The modern world is noisy. Everyone wants to be heard, respond, win pointless debates. But a power few know, the power of silence. Not passivity, but conscious, strategic, lucid silence. Not absence, but amplified presence. Jung saw silence not as void, but fertile ground for transformation. When you stop reacting, you observe patterns, emotional repetitions, manipulations, self-sabotages. Silence allows lucidity, dangerous for controllers. Noticed panic when you don't respond? Explain, disappear. They don't miss you. Your silence removes their narrative control. While you speak, you're in play. Silent, you change rules, unbalancing those thriving on your reaction. True silence isn't voicelessness, but mastery of energy, refusal to be dragged by others' emotions, choice not to engage in draining battles. Jung said individuation requires distancing, because only in silence can you hear yourself without interference. But silence has a price. It distances you from those who valued your role, makes you incomprehensible to those seeing you through projections, makes you seem cold, distant, arrogant. This is the reaction of those who never wanted your depth, only your utility. The hard truth, the more you mature, the more selective you are with words, because every sentence is an energetic investment, and not everyone deserves your truth. Sometimes silence isn't retreat, it's sovereignty, the language of one who needs to prove nothing. Silence is uncomfortable because it forces the other to confront their inner noise. This discomfort reveals more about them. You don't need to justify absence. It explains itself. Those threatened reveal how much they depended on your imbalance for control. But the most powerful silence isn't what disturbs others. It's what rebuilds you from within. The silence connecting you to something beyond external approval. In this space, free from others' demands, you recover vital energy, reconnect with your essence. Intellectual understanding isn't enough. Practically, you must stop saying yes when meaning no, responding to annoying messages, engaging in empty talks, maintaining inertial relationships. Awareness without action is self-deception. True transformation begins with a firm decision to be selective, requiring emotional discipline. Conscious unavailability isn't being cold or indifferent, but no longer being accessible to anyone, anytime, for any reason. It's taking control of your energy, time, peace. It starts with small actions, not responding immediately, breathing before reacting, leaving a discussion before chaos, turning off the phone guilt-free, saying, "Not today, not interested, I won't get involved." You don't need to justify your absence, explain your silence. You owe nothing to anyone but yourself. This is unforgivable for many, because by refusing to explain, you strip the other of power to keep you in an emotional narrative where you're always available. Jung knew individuation involves sacred isolation, an inner retreat to hear your voice without interference, rebuild identity from your center, not others' gaze. A good barometer for evolution. Observe who distances themselves when you're reserved, who provokes when you stop reacting, who accuses you of changing when you protect yourself. These aren't errors, but proof of liberation. Being unavailable is initially uncomfortable. You'll feel guilty, selfish, harsh, but it's part of deconstruction. You've been conditioned to put yourself second. Change causes discomfort for you and beneficiaries of your old self. Conscious unavailability is self-determination's foundation. Saying no to the world means yes to yourself. Withdrawing from toxic environments reaffirms your peace is worth more than false connections. By ceasing explanations, you gain respect, even from few. Not everyone is ready for this presence, because your emotional absence will expose wounds they don't want to face. It will reveal how much they depended on your emotional chaos for control. This is where rupture occurs. And with rupture comes pain, solitude, estrangement, the feeling of losing something when you're just freeing yourself. But what comes after? After distancing? What is born from silence? Rebirth only happens when you have the courage to be misunderstood, to be alone and to become whole on your own. The solitude of the strong is the path to true freedom. When you stop being available to everyone, something profound begins. First, silence. Uncomfortable, it screams inside. You wonder if you did right. But gradually it purifies, calms, heals. Then comes solitude. Not absence, but total presence. Your own. The solitude of the strong, of one who no longer betrays themselves for others, and where confusion was now clarity, where anxiety, peace, where neediness, new strength, integrity. Jung said individuation requires distancing from the collective, disidentifying from the mask, walking alone. This is what you're doing. Not fleeing, but returning to yourself. No longer a reactor, but a creator. People uncomfortable with your absence didn't want you, but the role you played. Now that you don't fit, they don't know what to do. This is liberating. You'll lose people, but find yourself. You'll distance from places, but reconnect with your essence. You'll be misunderstood, but finally respected. If you felt this message, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe. More life-shifting insights are on the way. Because when you're no longer available for just anything, you become precious, rare, unforgettable. It's a rebirth, a new beginning. A life where you're no longer available for emotional crumbs, mind games, voids disguised as affection. Now you only accept what resonates with your peace, your truth, your integrity. If you've come this far, a part of you is ready. You've understood that being loved means nothing if you abandon yourself for it. And true self-love begins when you choose yourself, even if it costs you a period of solitude.